Most of the men wanted it to be sexual, obviously, as it sort of the nature of sugar baby, sugar daddy suggests. There was this one particular one who wanted me to actually ruin his life. He wanted me to just take his money and to ruin his marriage and to ruin his career eventually and just take absolute control over his life. It was like an escape for him.
To her friends and family, she is a 22-year-old fresh-faced university graduate who spends her days working in full-time retail as she saves up for a big holiday. Online, she is known as Abigail, a fake name that she uses to protect her identity. That's because Abigail is a sugar baby and one of approximately 200,000 Australians who have signed up to the sugar daddy dating website known as Seeking Arrangement. When you hear the word sugar daddy, you probably think of an old rich white man, perhaps a Hugh Hefner type of guy, who showers young attractive women with designer goods and cash in return for sex. And for the most part, you're right. As a sugar daddy in his mid-20s, Danny says there are many people out there, men and women, who pursue that fantasy.
They don't want any kind of emotional relationship. They purely just want to give you money in exchange for sexual intimacy, which is... It confuses me, because if you wanted to exchange money for sexual intimacy, there are brothels, there are escorts, there are sex workers everywhere. So for me, the only logical conclusion is that if you wanted to do it through a sugar daddy interaction, it's that fantasy aspect of it.
But are sugar arrangements really all about money and sex, like the mainstream media has so overwhelmingly portrayed it to be? For many young female students like Sarah, who moved out of home when she was just 17, getting a sugar daddy is seen as a convenient solution to the increasing financial burden associated with living independently.
What got me into it was I was young and poor, and I thought that I could possibly see if I could exploit older men to give me money for very little in return.
While Sarah's decision to become a sugar baby was financially driven, she says it was more about making ends meet rather than pursuing a life of luxury or indulgence.
I was really struggling with money. I was not eating most nights. So when I first did it, I was like, you know what, this is free dinner. Like, I get to eat tonight. And then it turned into, whoa, free dinner. And they just gave me $200. I'm gonna eat. And I can pay rent? Like, what is this? This is crazy.
According to new figures released by Seeking Arrangement, approximately 100,000 Australian female students have signed up to the website to find a sugar daddy. And to put things into perspective, that's half of the website's total Australian membership. For other sugar babies like Abigail, it was a desire for human connection and an opportunity to experience something different that initially attracted her to the idea.
The money side of it wasn't anything to do with why I started doing this. I just wanted to really go to dinner and have a conversation with somebody who I would never cross paths with really in a sort of dating situation. For example, an older man.
From the perspective of a sugar daddy, while physical intimacy is important, it's certainly not the only selling point either. It's the convenience and flexibility of being able to establish a relationship on your own terms that makes sugar arrangements so much more appealing to sugar daddies than traditional relationships.
It's a different dynamic. It's dating, but it's not dating, and it's convenient. It's fun. It's whatever you want it to be, which is probably the most attractive thing about it.
At its very core, sugar arrangements involve a meticulous balancing act of one person's needs against the other. And whether those needs may be money, sex, friendship, romance, or even just someone to talk to over a 5-course meal. Perhaps the only label that can truly define sugar arrangements is that it's complicated.
A lot of people are just lonely old men who want connections, and a lot of the girls are just probably young and want to explore different relationships like myself. It's not black and white, and it can be very much about money and sex, but I think people are more complex than that.